Introduce yourself. You're doing a fire. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this desire. Do you hear the call? Coiling the wire. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this desire. I have found the catalyst, and I have found the catalyst, and you understand yourself. This is not it.
Song is The Catalyst. The band is St. Ricketts, www.strickett's.com. Awesome band that brings us a great doubleheader with Fire Cannot Burn on Tuesdays and The Catalyst on Wednesday nights. We're going to pause the guys and wish everybody a good evening and welcome to Wednesday night's version, 100% live of The Yo Show. You got to hit a yo there. So we got to get the Philly people and hitting that yo. I am Jeff the Shark Barini with you live. And tonight's just a great night because not only do we have a great guest, we got a sensational co-host. And big thanks to the guys over at Happy Hour Pod. They do great work and they have great people. And I met this young lady on their was it the Royal Rumble? Was that what they called it? The Royal Rumble, which I finished fifth. Fifth. Can't see King in the house. What's up, bro? I finished fifth. But I met this awesome, hilarious, beautiful comedian, and she is kind enough to come on tonight. I told her to guess what. She said, yeah, I'm on. That was easy enough. So let's give it up for Ashley. Now, make sure I get it right. Pontius.
You're close. It's Pontius.
Pontius. I thought so. I wanted to kind of, I don't know if I wanted to lay it out or bring it back, but Pontius. Excellent.
It's good. I answer to anything.
Wow, that'll be for later on the show after a couple more Yinglings to Pride of Pennsylvania. You know Yingling, you're a PA girl.
I do. You know, I like my men the way I like my beer. Super pale.
Yes. Though you can't see it from up here. I get the rosy cheeks from a little bit of nerves and the drinking. But from the waist down, I am like pale. I'm the least Italian guy ever. I'm pale as could be.
No, you're Italian.
100%. And
I mean, that's great. No.
Yay. I'm so glad you're taken because...
It's okay. I'm German, so I'm super hairy.
Yeah, baby. That, between a pale Italian and a hairy German, we are like sex symbols. Killing
Jeff,
it,
when we make love, it would smell like cold cuts.
Well, it depends on the cold cut. I like salami,
Yeah, get that real stinky. Oh, no, or Norwegian. We've got a Norwegian in here.
Oh, yes, we do.
Ooh, I bet you're real cold.
He's from Minnesota. So he's probably very cold.
Oh, I love Minnesota. Man, good beer, fat people, big fan.
I'm into all that. So you didn't say a word was wrong. And I tell you what, so Ashley, for those of you who are new to us, is a terrific comedian. Has been doing it how long? 15 years?
15 years. Isn't that insane?
So pretty much since she was born. Because
I was 16. I just turned 31, really? So since I was 16.
I wonder why the face is so fresh and no wrinkles. She's a baby yet.
You're so sweet. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. I think I always knew that I was going to be in comedy, which is such a, I don't know, that feels like very presumptuous, pretentious thing to say. But I don't think I ever wanted, I think I tried to be other things. I wanted to be other normal things. And it never worked. I dropped out of college. I've had so many different careers and I hated all of them.
Yeah, I'm with you, except for this, but this isn't really a career. This is a fabulous hobby I get the fortunes to do. So tonight we have an absolutely incredible guest. Former Miss Nude USA, current Miss Nude Canada, like Australia's Entertainer of the Year. She's a showgirl. She's absolutely gorgeous. The amazing Janine Jericho will be with us tonight around 8:30. Very excited for that. She
I love
is
her.
wow. Like wow is the word. And if my wife's watching, you heard me. I said wow. Rain and Kinsey, two of our great entertainment fans. Rain is a sensational drummer. Kinsey is an awesome singer, and they're great
Aw.
people. And they've been on our show. They come and watch, and we do appreciate that. So we're going to take the moment in the show that we do when we get a great guest co-host, and that's meet them. So we're going to meet Ashley. Ashley, tell us a little something about you besides the fact that you're fortunate enough to be in the hot seat tonight.
Let's see. So, it's funny that you said Janine was the Australian entertainer like of the year because I had actually lived in Australia for a little while.
Wow.
A few years ago, I lived in Melbourne. Gorgeous place, absolutely amazing. It's been because of COVID, it's been so long since I've gotten to travel.
Yeah,
I
sure.
can't wait to go back, but I'm based in PA. So, all of our followers and listeners, if you're, on the East Coast, if you're in DC, Virginia, Maryland, you might see me at a show. So definitely would love to see some more beautiful faces. But I am a bit of a cunt.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
You've got this rather awesome show coming up here. The
Yes.
banner's too small. Hot Girls Summer Comedy Show. And there's some hot
Yes.
girls there. And that's
Amazingly hot girls. Thank you so much for
Wow.
promoting this. So
Sure.
Megan in the middle, the beautiful girl in the middle, Megan has always been a comedian friend of mine. And then during the pandemic, she became an OnlyFans creator. And she is in like the top 1%. So
wow.
go follow her. She's funny. In fact, we are taping her first comedy special in Baltimore the week before.
Wow. Are the happy hour guys going to come out? I'm going to have to come out. How far? Give me a date.
I hope they do. So August 4th at 7 p.m. And I think there's a late show at 9:30 at the Vagabond Players Theater. We are taping her special. So there's two shows so we can get the best of both for editing. But that'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. We are taping her first comedy special called Don't Sleep with Comedians.
Wow. Well, again, no offense. I got to watch my tongue tonight, but I'm definitely would sleep with a comedian.
I would too, and I have. It's not always great, but
No.
And then Macy, who's also on the show, she's amazing. She is a Delaware, like Edge of Maryland gal.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
love her. So whoever just commented, I think his name was Jeff. Maybe you need to come. Whoever you are, sir.
JD. That's the guy. That's the Norwegian guy from Minnesota.
Well,
I'm trying
fly
to drag
out.
him down here, right?
Fly out.
Oh, listen to that. Fly
I'll
out.
be your Viking. You can turn
Wow.
this pussy purple and gold.
Wow. Hot damn.
I'll go. Yes, go. Come.
Brent is
Because
on.
I'm
Brent
gonna
does wow. So you hear that, Brent? Sounds like a challenge. Brent does our awesome photography work. I've known Brent for years. We used to work together. And
That's awesome.
after I made a grand exit from that job, a story that we'll share for another night that Brent loves, we linked up again through social media. And now, like, he's always done photography. He's like, you know what? Let me go to some of these shows with you.
Aw.
And, kind of hone the skills. And he's great. He
That's
really is great.
awesome.
So, man, we got to try and get there to get a little bit of, see? Ashley's got the boys all wrapped up tonight.
I'm an incredible promoter who lives on a busy street. So if I do mute myself at any point, it's because the people with giant trucks are driving by. Look, I gotta get to the grocery store and get
Right?
more skull.
Because trust me, there's nights where Jewel gets like a fire alarm or something. She's like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, you know what, man? I always say it's the beauty of live programming. You just
Yes.
never know.
I have had so many nights. So I have 2 podcasts of my own, and there are so many nights where I am trying to podcast. And I live on a busy street, so sometimes like I hear the traffic, but I have 2 cats. And one of them sometimes will sit here at the base of my seat and just meow at me the entire time. Or I've got one that where my litter boxes are,
Giant
I'll
trucks and
look little D's. You know who doesn't have little D's? Me, I
Yeah.
got double D's. Okay. But
That's why you're on the show. No.
that is why I'm on the show.
Yeah, babe.
But I look over here and I have my litter boxes, and sometimes while I'm podcasting, my cat will lock eyes with me while taking a hot dump, and it's very uncomfortable while I'm trying to talk.
At least they care enough to say, look, Mom.
It's so rough. One night, one of them got scared mid poop, and he jumped out of the litter box and he wasn't finished and he just all through the apartment. And I was like, I don't need children. Why do I need
Right.
children?
Oh, I never had children for that reason. I got 2 little dogs. They like to wrestle with each other. They rarely come on the show. I think they hate the show.
And honestly, it's less of a crime if you fucked it up. Just kidding.
Whoa. But I mean, it is.
I hang out with too many guys. I hang out with too many male comedians that are horrible people, and it starts to transform my DNA, and I hate
But
it.
I got to tell you, you're not wrong. It is less illegal.
I know what laws are. I used to suck dick for cash. I know what laws are. Oh no, don't leave Minnesota. I'll take it back.
Like, okay.
What you got? You got $1? You got a 20? What you got?
Well, I got 20s and all upstairs. Here I got
Oh,
$2.
you got $1? You want $1 will get you?
Spit
wink.
on. Oh, wait. Whoa. How about $2?
I might fart
double
for you.
wink.
Hold on.
Wow, no. Take my money back. Women don't fart and poop. Come on now. We all know better than that.
What? Why have I been doing it wrong?
All these years, I never knew it. It just comes out of my foot.
Nobody told me.
Shelly Sadoff in the house. Hello and good evening, and thank you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate everybody that tunes in. We get some great regulars, and the Norwegian future Mr. Pontius, J.D. Wolf.
The Mr. Pontius. Oh, I like
Mr.
that. He took
like
my
that, huh?
name. Progressive, like the
That's,
soup.
it's modern, because I know you're not going to put up anybody's shit. I've seen you in action. I know you don't take any shit. So
You are 100% right. I can't think I could ever take a man's name. When I was younger, I would have been very like, oh yeah, like I love being a traditional. And now I'm like, hey, Tuesdays, I get the strap on. You're my bitch.
you make my sandwich, bitch.
Yeah, you cry yourself to sleep at night. It's your turn.
Wow, I thought I was the only one that did that. I gotta tell you, you're off to a great show. You're freaking hilarious. And that's like, we've had comedians on in the past, and you're always like, God, I hope they're funny. And they're always great.
yeah. Oh,
We
good.
had Cocky Rocky, who's out in California. She's very cool with the bright red hair. And then there's Brian Six, who I don't know if you may have heard of Brian Six
I
before.
don't think so.
I think he does like Philly, New York, all that.
Okay.
And he was very funny. And some people who aren't comedians come on funny as hell. And I'm like,
I
man.
love that. I love me a normal, funny person because it just means they're the best type of person. It means they didn't have enough trauma to do what I do, but they're cool. Like they're a good hang. That's what I like.
I'm a good, well,
Oh, you mean a good hang?
yeah, good hanging out. Right. not
I'm a good hang too. I'm not wearing a bra.
That's hanging. Or maybe not hanging. I don't know.
No, they're hanging.
Not
I don't
saying-
have Janine's beautiful body. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Jesus. Not many people do it. The one thing, like I said, I make like an outline of the show and how we're going to approach things. I forgot the question of her workout because I got to find out.
God, I mean, I would bet you, here's what I bet you, because I don't remember if she's ever talked about this with me before. I would bet you, though, how many hours she probably puts in on the pole as far as like, just your abs. I mean, I've done it once. I've done the strip workout, and it is so hard.
That's what
I
I
had
hear.
burns in places from the pole I didn't know possible. But I did some stuff I was very proud of, but I could not imagine doing it multiple hours and more than one day a week.
Yeah, that's, wow. Wow. Like I climbed the pole drunk at places. And it's ugly. And I've had 2 different women on. One runs a pole academy.
Okay.
And she's like, bring the show. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, no. And then another one who was on who just opened her own, and it's a full like fitness thing with pole.
awesome.
And she's like, why don't you bring the show? And I'm like, no, it's just not going to happen. I'll embarrass
afraid-
myself certain ways, but
Are you afraid you're gonna like it?
I'm afraid I might hurt my erection.
That's, I mean, you know what? If it's sturdy enough, we could
Truth.
use it. You know what I'm saying? Just-
God help that pole. The pole be like, boom. Wink. Wink.
hold on, wrong eye. I don't know which eye to use. I don't know. It's going. Oh wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
this
Dirt
is-
bike's going by.
Dirt bikes. Wow.
Because
You guys-
I live in rural community. Like it's farming, so it's like, hey, you can't afford a vehicle, but you can use a dirt bike.
We had, like somebody made a post like, what what do the most poor people have the most of? And I said tattoos, and my wife didn't like that answer at all. 'Cause she's got like
Funny.
5. She's
It
got
is
like
funny.
5. She's like, that's not funny. Uh,
It's tattoos and children.
Tattoos and off children. God, I have some friends in Norway that are ranked in pole in the country. It's hard work. Yes, it's actually not stripping. It's an Olympic sport. Yeah,
That's
it's become.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure all the guys are going to tune in and say, "Oh, what form?" And they're going to say, "Look how tight their ass is."
But I mean, he's totally right though. I mean, it's legitimately hard work, and I can see how it's incredible exercise because you're using so much of your body, your glutes, your thighs, your abs for sure. I mean, the
Yeah.
muscle strength up in your arms as far as some of the moves they do, incredible. I'm in awe.
And I guess it's different because when you're doing that for a workout or an Olympic event, you're dedicated. You want it. When you're doing that at a strip club, you're like, I hate every fucking guy in here. Throw your dollars up while I slide down this thing and shut your mouth.
I can't believe some of the horror stories are just like sometimes I've watched girls on TikTok who like document like their day to day so you can see what their week is like. And it's so like I feel bad. Some of them when they talk about like a night when they should have been making crazy good money and they have like an off night and they just don't. And I'm like, that must be so hard to give your all every night of the week or very regularly and to like feel like you didn't get paid for it in that type of environment. That's gotta be so tough. I would probably get paid in quarters, guys just like pelting them out and flicking them and I'm just like, no, wait. But then at the same time I'm not upset because it's my laundry money. So
True. And nothing is a bigger bitch than trying to get change. So they're doing you a favor. Don't bring it.
just quarters.
Set up
you know
the
what I
catcher's
mean?
mitt, and set up the catcher's mitt. Just quarter. Yeah, no dimes, no nickels. They don't go into machines, and we're not having that.
No, because hey, look, I'm gonna need to do laundry after I dig that G-string out of my crotch.
There you go. Absolutely. That's another thing. Like it's, there are some times, and I always joke about this with friends and all. There's people that'll eat at the strip club. No,
Is to me.
no, that to me is disgusting.
The idea of a girl goat-seeing you, like spreading her butthole open, and you're just like gnawing on a chicken leg, and you're like, "That's good." That's so bananas.
Shake it. Yeah, that's wow.
That's so wild to me. Like you pass her a greasy barbecue covered 20 and you're like, good job. Just so wild. Men are wild.
Men are disgusting, and I mean that.
Very disgusting. I did a show, Dope Nachos and Stricto Mix.
You might be onto something to a Mexican restaurant strip club.
But now he's making me hungry. But you know what they call me? They call me the queefadilla.
Oh my god. Is that like throatzilla that we discussed before the show?
Ugh. No, a queefadilla. Let me just tell you, it's delicious, but it's very drippy.
Oh, it's a food. Do I want to know? I mean, I want to know, but do I want to know?
Well, it's like a quesadilla, but it's made with queefs.
Wow.
We just lost the entire audience.
Everybody just plummeted. And don't pay no mind to that reader. That thing has no clue because 1 second it says 1, you look, there's 1,000 people. 1 second it says 1,000, there's one person sitting there scratching his nose like, did you just say queef? Yeah.
I just like the idea that I'm responsible for the demise of an entire podcast.
So do I.
They're like, who's a nightmare? Ashley Pontius. She talked about queefs for 20 minutes. What a useless bitch.
I used to like the Yo show, and then he had this Ashley Pontius, and all she talked about was quesadillas.
I'm known for a lot of people being like, no, you know what? I'm good. Like even my boss, I have a new job. I've been at my job almost 3 months, and my boss all the time because he knows what I do in my free time. And he's like, sometimes I think about who I could have hired. And I'm not sure what happened in my life that made me be like, Ashley's a good choice.
I want a job there. I could just tell it's probably, JD is the one. He would always be. He's always here. He's the man. I love him.
JD, you want to put the D in my J?
Wow. All right.
I don't know what J.
I don't know the J.
I mean, in my Janine, Janine is what I call my puss.
Of course, don't we all?
Because it's pretty, it's blonde, and it spends a lot of time in Canada.
Wow. Holy man, that was well done. Right on the improv. I give you a lot of credit there.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm such a fan. It's great stuff.
Aw.
So, and the perfect thing about it, again, I don't want to disrespect people because I love everybody who comes on to guest co-host and all that stuff, and they do a great job. The fact that you do podcasts, you're like spot on. You're perfect. You're sound. You got the headset, and you even have a good delivery. You got like a great radio voice. Like, hi, this is Ashley. I'm here to steal your soul.
Thank
I didn't say.
you.
Oh, you also have a good sex voice. So call 1-900.
Oh,
Ashley
God.
1.
I would love that so much. Does it come with maple syrup? It depends on the time of the month. Put a little spigot in me, just. But no, I love podcasting. I joined. I joined Quality Time, which I'm even wearing my own shirt, kind of unintentionally. You can see me right there in the middle. Are we both wearing our own pod?
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at us.
absolutely.
We're little sluts for self-promotion.
Whores. We're
I
flat out
love
whores for it.
But I joined Quality Time, which is the name of my podcast. In the first few months of the pandemic, my good friend in comedy, Eric Woodworth, who's done the Happy Hour pod several times, he said, hey, my brother and I have been doing this podcast for 6 years. We did have another female co-host. She left to go start a family and get on with her life. And he's like, hey, do you want to come on as a guest? Because like we're all stuck at home doing nothing. The world was
Right.
ending. I was like, sure. Had a great time because we talk about horror movies. And he had me guest host a few weeks later because his brother, his co-host, was sick. And then that night after the episode, he's like, will you be on like forever? And I was like, yeah. So I've now been on the pod like 3 years, which is so amazing.
Does it come in a ring? Like, do you get a ring? Like an engagement ring?
No, but every now and again I blow out my O-ring because I have IBS. But
Wow.
but I have a great time. I love it. And then my other podcast that I was added to this year is Laugh Finder. So me and 5
Right.
other male comedians play essentially Dungeons and Dragons live every Monday.
That's pretty cool.
I love it. I have so much fun. They are some of the funniest people I have ever met. And they all have crazy different careers, but we all know each other through comedy, essentially.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. I get to live out my nerdy slut fantasies and tell listeners to come on my big D20s.
There you go. Wow. That's a show worth watching. I wrote it down, so I'm going to find it.
Thank you. Yes, it's great. I love it.
Absolutely. I didn't prepare enough because I...
No, you're okay.
Because, like... I find out some things on the fly, and I'm like, damn, that's so great. I wish I had a banner for it. And I know, because I suck.
No,
I suck at
don't.
this.
You have been killing it. You had my flyer. I didn't even have to be like, will you promote my upcoming shows? You just already did it. Like, oh, you're killing it, sir.
It is a hot girl summer. And it is exactly well titled. It is hot girl summer.
Thank you. It is very
Absolutely.
hot. I fucking hate this weather. I'm sweating my ass off.
Agreed. And no offense, but you talk about your upstairs endowment. I know it gets hot up there.
It is so sweaty. I could probably hold a broomstick just under these right now. Like, it's uncomfortable. You have to take multiple showers. I'm also like super, like, my hair is long. My other stuff is long. Boys. Yeah, JD gets it. He's like, I got a hairy nutsack too. It's sweaty. I understand. Those Minnesota summers are no joke. You should go swim in one of the 10,000 lakes. 10,000 lakes.
Is it 1,000 or 10? He'll tell you in a second.
10,000 lakes, right? 10,000 lakes, and my puss is one of them.
Oh, ba-dum-bum. So it's now 1,001.
Yeah.
Great
No, it's
lake.
10,000, right? JD, help us out. It's 10,000 lakes, right?
He's so proud of everything
You've
Minnesota.
been talking all night. Now when I need you, you're nowhere to be found. Put your dick away.
Actually, 11,500 lakes.
Okay, well, I was the closest. So, like, this is Price is Right. I was the closest. Come on down.
Well, I'm going to send you an autographed Yingling can. That's already empty, of course.
I would take it because I'm a hoarder.
And so am I. As you can, like...
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that hoarding or is it autism? Because I wasn't sure.
It's actually collecting. And again, pandemic. So when the pandemic came, and I hate to tell this secret, but I will.
Okay.
When the pandemic came, my buddies, because we would collect like sports cards and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, dude, people right now during the pandemic are desperate for money. They're giving Funko Pops away for like $1, a penny on the dollar. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's check. So we hit Mercari and we were just buying up like $100 ones for $1, or well, not that trashy, but $100 one for like
Yeah.
$20. You're like, oh, absolutely. And then I'm like, let's get some shelves. And then one day my wife comes out and she's like, what the fuck is going on back here? And it's not just there. There's some all over here and here and here. They're everywhere. And it's a mess.
Well, do you ever jerk off in your studio and we can call it a Spunko Pop?
Of course not.
I love that I think it was JD just commented, yeah, collecting.
Collecting.
I'm like, yeah, just like that guy from Silence of the Lambs was collecting women.
Right. Collecting. And it's the weirder part is like I have every Britney Spears one, and some of my buddies are like, dude, do you really? Like, why?
She's
That just-
amazing.
I love me some Britney.
I love Britney. I'm sad that she's super out of her fucking mind, but I love her a lot.
You're asking us. It's asking me for sure. I love Britney. As crazy as I think the crazier the better. I think it actually turns me on more because we love crazy women.
She's still very beautiful and hot and sexy in her, I don't say advanced age, but like she's a full grown adult now. Like she's a grown ass woman.
Is she?
Physically, she is. I
Physically,
don't
is she
know.
ever?
I feel like people should be embarrassed because everybody was like, "Free Britney, we know it's good for her," and now I'm like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe,
Daddy.
yeah, maybe we shouldn't have freed her. It's like when it's like someone setting zoo animals free. They're like, they don't belong in cages, and then they get hit by the cars as they cross the street. I'm like,
Right.
maybe we didn't know what was best for Britney.
I don't think we did. We need Daddy back. Daddy, come. We're sorry, Daddy.
I don't like that we're calling him daddy. Oh, real quick, settle a debate for me, including the listeners, okay? I went over to a friend's house and I met her dog, her old ass dog that's begging to die. And, and I meet the dog and she keeps calling him puppy brother. And I go, I don't like this. And she said, what do you mean you don't like it? I said, I feel like the dog is gonna come over and try and help you get unstuck from the dryer. It sounds like puppy stepbrother, and I feel like you and the dog
Out of the dryer.
right? Like I don't like it. And
I'm
she's like,
laughing,
"You're
although
gross." She's like, you're gross. Why would you think that? I'm like, it sounds weird, right?
I'm laughing even though I never saw that video. Everybody.
Yeah, I only saw the meme.
Jewel Tatey in the house, our Tuesday Yo Show superstar. She said, as always, she works from home and does computers, so she always like chimes in and watches, which is awesome. And I love her, and I was very excited for this. And she's like, "Oh man, Ashley's going to be great." And so far, so good.
Aw, it's lovely to meet you, Jewel.
Jewel will never be replaced, though, unfortunately.
Oh.
Sorry, Ashley, but Jewel's amazing. And
That's okay. I'm already surrounded by too many men on podcasts. I'm exhausted. There's always constantly gooey things stuck to me, things being said to me, fingers somewhere nearby, and I'm like, hey.
oh, so I had to stick this in. Wow, that's bad timing for that phrase. Anyway, I gotta place this in. So we did a bet. I got Ray to do a bet from Happy Hour Podcast with the Phillies versus the Orioles.
Yes.
They played a 3-game series. The winner gets the gloat. The loser has to wear the opposing team's gear on their show. Final score, Phillies 6, Orioles 4. Phillies take it 2-1. Goddamn, the Yo Show won it, baby.
Oh, shit.
The Yo Show. Oh, shit, indeed.
Damn.
No
Damn.
orange for us. Jewel's afraid of the orange and black. She's like, I don't look good in orange and black.
Well, I went to opening day for the Orioles this year, and I got to sit in like the best seats. Some rich person gifted me seats, which was insane and so kind of them. And someone comes down with a badge and she goes, "Hi, are you Ashley?" And I go, thinking I'm gonna get moved. I'm like, I am. She goes, "I'm your personal concierge. How would you like food and alcohol?" And I go, I would. So I got like blackout drunk and we won against the Yankees opening day, which was great. So I'm trashed. I couldn't find the bathroom, so I peed in a corner of Camden Yards.
Why do I totally see this happening though?
It
Like,
happens to me a lot.
you act like it surprises me, but I'm proud of you.
Thank
Because
you. I store alcohol in me like a camel. Like I just put it in my humps and use it for later.
That is,
bad.
oh my God. You know,
Yeah.
I always make sure the time frames are good. So I'm just gonna
No, you're good.
send Janine a post that we're ready when she is, because I don't know if I gave her a time zone. Ouch, Jesus.
Oh, that's fair. Good point.
Yeah, I'm kind of an idiot that way. Ashley sounds like a
know,
right. We're gonna get, because she's in
Yes,
PA.
ma'am.
We're gonna do like a halfway meet. I don't know what's
Yes.
halfway. Harrisburg.
Well, Harrisburg's pretty
halfway?
close to me.
Close. Okay, that's not too bad.
I forget where are you at again?
Right outside of Philadelphia, in beautiful downtown Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Oh shit. Well, you know what? Harrisburg's good. The other thing we could always do sometime is I do come to Philly to perform every now and again.
Wow.
So next time I'm up and I know I've got a show, I'll hit you up. I was just in I don't think it's that close to you, but I was just in at Soul Joel's in Sunnybrook.
It's not close, but I do know
Not
the
close,
place.
but it
Right.
was a 2-hour drive from me.
Yeah. Well,
Do you know who Rich Voss is, the comedian?
yeah, the name is
Okay.
actually familiar. Like, I don't like
Okay.
know him, but the name is familiar.
No,
And we
that's
got a
okay.
story
The
there,
fact,
of course.
the fact that you know him though helps.
That's enough, right?
So, because a lot of people don't, I don't expect them to. I call him, I know he's famous, but I would call him like a comedian's comedian. Like he is someone other comedians all know of and have heard of and are aware of. So, and his wife is a famous comedian, Bonnie McFarlane. So I am at Soul Joel's performing.
Soul Joel.
I can't say it right. Soul Joel's on Friday last week. And before my show, it's his show. And I see him on stage and I get a picture of him on stage. And I think to myself, like, I'm not really a fan, but he's off stage now. I feel like, I don't know, I'm supposed to like get a picture. I feel like I don't know, I should do it.
Does he want the picture?
Right? Like, I don't know, because I don't care, but it's like that thing of I'm around a famous person in my industry. So I wait till all his actual fans are done hanging out with him and whatever. And I come up to him and I go, oh, could we maybe do like a picture? And we talk a little bit. And I obviously know he's tired. So someone with him starts talking to me and I'm being polite and engaging. He finally just goes, do you have the phone or what?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, yes, I do. Sorry. And we take several like photos if we got a good one. So then I walk away to leave him alone because I'm on stage next anyways. And I look
Yeah.
at my phone. I will not post these. A, I feel like I look super fat. But two, the sequence of these photos they took,
Yeah.
you see him go, He's next to me. You see this man absolutely disgusted at meeting me. Ugh. Why? Like it's so
Stop.
bad. It's so bad.
You get the iPhone, you get the photos that actually motion, and he'd be like, please help me.
I can't post these because if I looked good, I'd be like, okay, these are funny, but I'm like, I can't look ugly in my opinion and have a famous person be like, ugh. Like, I can't. It'll break my ego.
We did that. Every year we used to go to the Atlantic City Beer Fest. Now, it's Beer Fest. It's 4 hours worth of just nonstop ridiculous drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So we go, and they got the one brewery has these two cute girls that are, and my wife, she go take a picture with the cute girls. I'm like, okay, and then you're snapping, and you're smiling. So like I said, how you do the motion, if you hold the photo and it'll move, I hold it, and I watch this girl, she's like, and all of a sudden, after the flash, she goes, I was like, wow. Well, like she was just, like my presence just made her sick.
I'm so sorry.
I
wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, I'm definitely coming to your next show. We're going to get great selfies.
Yeah, we'll get great selfies, but I swear to God, Jeff, if you do to me what Rich Voss did, I'm gonna fucking shoot you.
I may have to. Like,
No,
on purpose. No, never.
No famous people like enjoy meeting me. I have a track record. Everybody's
Wow.
like, "Hey, Ashley, how do you feel about Carlos Mencia?" I'm like, I will slit his throat. I hate that dude so much.
Can't wait to meet him, though.
No, you don't. He'll steal your material.
Oh, wow. Wow. Material stealers. We've
Oh
been
yeah, he's famous for that.
in the podcast world. It's very easy, and people are like, "Yo, you lay it out there, dude. Like people are going to take it."
Yeah. But
No
no,
shit.
Carlos was famous for that.
Really?
That's why his career tanked because I want to say Joe Rogan, I'm pretty sure, famously attacked him on stage because
Really?
yeah, he called him a joke stealer and everything. Several people have accused him of that. Yeah, so Brent just said Mencia's
Brent
known
knows
for
it.
years for stealing. Yeah, he's been I don't know. I can't say that's what tanked his show, but when he had Mind of Mancia, it wasn't long after that Rogan had accused him of it and fucking tackled him on stage and tried to wail on
Wow.
him. And then I unfortunately opened for him in Baltimore.
Awesome.
And well, but I knew that people didn't like him. Okay, I knew that, but I was happy to work and he was famous. You take the job. And I was super like planning, treated him like anybody else, didn't make it weird, wasn't mean, wasn't standoffish, but just tried to make him feel welcome. Within minutes of meeting me, I had a shirt with skull like hands like on my chest.
Mhm.
And upon meeting me, he points at him and he's like, really? And I was like, okay.
Wow.
All right, like whatever. So, but like no big deal, move on. So, and I find this is standard in comedy. If you're doing a full weekend of shows, I just was not at a point where I was killing it every show. And I'm only like hosting, by the way, I'm opening. So out of like 5 shows that weekend, I would say like 2 out of the 5 were killers. Like I did amazing. Like 1 was kind of meh, and like 2, the audience didn't like me, and that it's so hard. But anyways,
Ouch.
the first audience that didn't like me was the first one of the weekend, which usually does suck. And
that's pressure.
yeah, so then
kicking it off.
exactly. So then a good friend of mine was the middle comedian, the feature. And while that comedian's on stage and I'm waiting in the wings, because I'll bring up Carlos next, Carlos comes up to me and is like, hey, don't do that self-deprecating shit. No one wants to hear about your problems. And I'm like, I didn't ask for your advice. And also, why are you telling me this right before I'm about to go on stage again?
Yeah, there is a routine that you have been practicing.
Yeah,
and
why would
setting
you
up.
say
Yeah.
that right now? And I didn't even ask you for advice. And I'm like, fuck you. So the whole rest of the weekend, I just like avoid him because I'm just like,
Yeah.
ugh, I'm not having good interactions with you. The last show of the weekend, he runs. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead too. He runs so long the whole weekend. That whole night, he way over schedule. So, and it takes me like 2 hours to leave that place. But as I brought him on stage that last show, and I'm walking away at a legit comedy club. It's a full club, like 500 people capacity in Baltimore. In front of the whole audience, he goes, hey, sweetie, why don't you go get me a beer?
Wow.
Which, like, they have waitresses and everything, which is a way for him to be
Wow.
like, fuck you to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure. What would you like? He's like, I don't know, surprise me. So I walk away the whole time with my finger in the air and I'm like, fuck you. So I get him an O'Doul's, the alcohol.
Surprise.
And he was super pissed about that. But then as I leave, after I've gotten him the beer, again, to the audience, he's like, I love beer almost as much as she loves cock. And
So he likes beer a lot.
so I turn around in front of everybody. I go, not possible.
Nobody likes beer that much.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you. And then he gave us all COVID.
Wow. Damn, I knew there was somebody behind this.
God damn it. It's his fault.
I'm going to intervene for a moment and say,
Sure.
Janine's already 10 minutes late. I tried to message her to see what's up. So let's just keep rolling. And I'm having a blast either way.
Okay.
We're here with Ashley Pontius.
Yes.
Got it right.
You did it.
A terrific comedian out of the great state of Pennsylvania. And Tom, I'm laughing hysterically. I love it.
Aw.
So there's those moments. They say it's the magic of going live where sometimes your guest, yikes. So we'll
Yeah.
just keep rolling along. It happens, but
I've had it happen before.
JD Wolf likes it. He approves.
Oh, thank you, sir. No, we've had people, like, again, people I legitimately know, like in real life. That I'm like, hey, I know where to find you, right?
Right.
We
Like,
work at the same clubs. Why weren't you on my podcast?
you post your schedule. I'm going to know where you're going to. That's weird
Yeah,
to say.
I'm like, we're on the same show next Tuesday. I know where you are, but like it happens. People unfortunately forget. Shit comes up. Sometimes you may or may not have, poisoned someone so you can be the star and they can't make it. Uh,
That's
no, I mean,
actually really good.
yeah, things totally happen all the time. I'm
Yeah.
also a bit of a narcissist, so I can talk for a very long time.
Our dude, sure. So our man, Geo Pal, is in the house, telling us that the Phillies have won. The Yo Show has won the bet. And here's the cool thing, Ashley. Geo George is a professional drummer. Just went on a tour of the U.S. and Europe with Miss Taylor Acorn, a
That's
sensational
awesome.
artist. So George is an awesome drummer. He was on the show, and it's funny. He was on the show. He used to live local. He came on the
Okay.
show. My wife was at the local bar. She's like, the guy that was just on your show is here right now. I'm like, yeah, okay. She's like, no, I'm sitting right next to him.
Aw.
Here's his picture. He said, come on down. And since then, we've been tight. He's a great dude.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for popping in and saying hello. We super appreciate it.
It's, what people will do, they'll check it out. Say, let's see what Jeff's got on. Is it got Jeff Lacharbel as always with that beard? And, oh, there's a blonde. Well, let's stick around, see what that is. Stop it.
I know. They're like, I wonder what she does. And I'm like, I am the Bellagio of buttholes. I can pour Dasani inside, shake it up, and then I just drip it all out.
Wow,
don't know.
that's pretty disgusting.
I don't. I'm just trying to think of cool things that these other women can probably do that I can't. I'm like, I can touch my toes.
I don't know. I used to go to the strip clubs in your early 20s, and the girls would like pop ping pong balls, and I'm like, what is going on here? And the dudes like cheering it on, and some dudes try to catch the ping pong balls in their mouth, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
Not really for me, but
No.
you know what? That's funny you bring that up about the strip clubs because where I live, since you and I are a few hours apart, so we don't really have a lot in my area. It's incredibly conservative. It's not the big city. I live in rural areas, and of course, people would say like, "Ooh, why?" Truly, my rent is so cheap in this
There you
area. And I don't have to fight for parking. It's so much cheaper. Like I love it. So I traveled into all these cities because it's still so much cheaper to travel there and do my stand up in all these states and cities than actually live there. So in my area, we don't really have strip clubs. But if you drive like 45 minutes from where I live into the great state of West Virginia,
oh,
oh boy, Martinsburg, West Virginia,
Party
has some
Town, USA.
wild strip clubs. I don't know if any of these are still open, but there was Vixens,
Martinsburg.
Martinsburg, West Virginia. They did have one called Vixens, and then there was Legs with a Z. I think that one
Ah,
closed.
of course,
'cause
gotta
the
have
food
a Z.
Yeah, because the food was always bad there. So that one's not around anymore. There were a few that were real classy, but my favorite is there was one in a singular one in Funkstown, Maryland, which is near like Antietam Battlefield,
Kind of has a
and,
name.
and it was called Mitzi's Lounge, and you're talking small town strippers,
Yeah.
and a lot of C-section scars, and my favorite thing about Mitzi's was it was BYOB. So you had to bring in your alcohol, give it to the bartender, and
And they
then
would
they
serve you.
would serve it to you. And I'm like,
Wow.
this place is garbage. Oh, sorry if I made a noise. My window's like, you need security. And I'm like, I've got plenty of viruses. It's fine. Um, but yeah, real sad shit. Gio's like, I caught a cold before leaving a strip club once, never going back to that one. What part of her was in your face, Gio?
What part wasn't in your face?
That's true. Anything that has a mucous membrane will get you sick. But
Oh, Brent's got the door. Hey,
Brent's
Cloud, do you want?
we're gonna go to a good strippy bar. But man, this place I'll never forget. My sister is 8 years older than me. And when she was like, I don't know, 18, 21, whatever, like the limit, like your youngest you can be to get into these places, she went.
6.
well, it depends. It depends on the state. But
Yeah.
she went to Mitzi's, the one I was talking about in
Yeah.
Funkstown. She comes back and she has this real perplexed look on her face. I'm like, Faith, how is? And again, I'm like maybe in middle school, and I'm like, Faith, how is the titty bar? And she goes, I feel confused and mesmerized. This girl had pierced nipples, and she was spinning her rings through her nipples, and it was really cool. And I was like, man, maybe we're all gay in this family. I don't know. Like it's making a lot of sense.
Maybe.
Maybe my dad only produces gay girls. I don't.
Oh, yeah, but that kind of kills the theory about loving beer and loving dick. Then I guess, correct?
No, I'm actually bisexual. I actually came out
Okay.
publicly 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It only took me almost 30 years.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I had a good time. Like a psycho, I did it at a show. I did it live at a show. A show that happened at a place called Bark Central, which is where you take your dog.
Wow, it's like a comedy club where you take your dog.
It's not a comedy club. I did
It's not?
comedy at like a fancy dog park. I love comedy, but sometimes it's real shit. I'm like, hey, the check cleared. I guess, you know, if the KKK was like, hey, we'll pay you $1,000 right now, and I'm like, can I wear a sheet so no one knows it's me?
Right.
No, I'm like, the money's tough. The money's tough. I've done a lot of questionable shit for money for comedy. I went to the dogs. Yeah, I did. Dude, it was a horrible show, by the way. I love the person that booked me. Don't get me wrong. A lot of love for them. And again, I appreciate anybody that thinks I'm funny enough to book me. But this person was like, yeah,
Like
it's going to be
like
amazing.
the police.
Well,
It's a different kind of
hasn't
booking.
that hasn't happened in a long time. The one time I was involved with a police officer, and I told him that my favorite meal was pigs in a blanket. And he thought that was gross.
I got it.
It took people a minute, but we got there. But no, it was a bad show. I will tell you one time, thank God the show did not happen. A few years ago, right before the pandemic.
No fan.
Oh, thank you.
That's it. Whenever.
I had a show, or I was supposed to have a show, where someone said, hey, I want to book you. I'll make a flyer, all this stuff. You're going to headline. I'm like, okay, great. I then get the flyer. And I go, oh, no, I can't do this show. My big fat white face is in the middle of this flyer, and the show is called The Afro Experience.
Oh, well.
And I was like, I will get shot. I can't do this show. I do not belong on this show. I should not be the headliner.
No.
That's really bad. Also, I forget who just said that about the pagans. I'm also a Satanist, so you're cool with me.
You're a Satan, man. You're like, wow. Man. You're like all this amazing package.
Thank you. Well, you and I had talked before about how I had been going to school because I was going to be a pastor.
Yes.
And then I was like, nope, Satan's way cooler. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
And it was kind of funny because that night that we did the pod brawl, the
Rumble.
the pod rumble, which was great.
Yeah.
Again, I finished 5th.
I didn't finish at all. Typical woman.
I finished afterwards too, my 5th place. Like, ugh. And Ashley like kept saying to me like, "Oh, your wife is gorgeous," and I'm like, maybe she likes us both.
Yeah.
Maybe she just thinks I'm awful.
Wait, hold on, Brent, the Afro Experience sounds like something you'd find on Pornhub. I mean, it is that meme of that one girl with like 6 black dudes on the sofa
really?
behind her. No, but I'm saying it could be.
Could be.
It could be. I mean, they call Brent Shaft for a reason.
No, I always wonder. I never asked.
Yeah, he just pulls up. He just pulls up like Samuel L. Jackson. He's like, "There's too many motherfucking dicks in this motherfucking whore."
Wow.
And I'm like, sorry.
So again, I tried the message, the text to Janine,
Okay.
and nothing. So look,
Oh, no, I hope she's okay. She's
I know, I
usually
definitely
pretty
hope she's
reliable. So, meh.
and if not, we're going to just keep rolling. And
That's okay. I'm like Wish Janine. I'm great value Walmart brand Janine. I'll be like, I'm Miss Nude of Nicaragua before they set me free.
do you advertise Miss Nude? What's to say Ashley's not Miss Nude? You heard?
Yeah.
Do you not hear double D's? Like,
yeah, I could be Miss Nude 2024. Or once you get me naked, you call me Miss Dude because you're like, look at the size of that dick. And I'm like, what? No, baby, come on.
oh, I just knocked one of my lights right off the table.
Oh,
Excellent.
that's the worst. There have been times I've knocked my face on my microphone, and
I've done it.
God, it hurts so bad.
When I talk about going live, like when we first started doing this format, which I love, StreamYard, and thank you to Jimmy Starr for introducing it. So we get ready to start. I always got beer, and I'm running around and I knocked the beer all over the computer. When the computer took a shit, that episode took a shit. Needless to say, I'm like, wow. Okay, so like I said, when you go live, anything can happen.
Oh yeah, I've had a cat throw up on my keyboard before. Yeah.
Only you though. Only you.
Oh yeah, only me 100%. If it can go wrong, it's probably happened to me. And I unfortunately have the emotional patience of a kindergartner because I 100% am known for embarrassing meltdowns of something small. We're just like, this isn't going great. Ugh. And then you just see mascara running down my face and I'm just screaming at everybody. And then I need to be held like a baby until I fall asleep.
Oh, I want to see that during the show. I want to see
It's
a meltdown.
No, we edit it out. Because it's embarrassing and exhausting.
Not if it's live. If it's live, as you know, you can't edit shit when you're live.
That's true. One time we had a Laugh Finder episode. I think I was off that night. We also do normally Wednesday nights. We normally also do a thing called game night where we all play like Jackbox games lives and like our audience.
Am I stealing you from them tonight?
No. I told them to get fucked this week. So I was like, you boys don't pay me. I don't care. Normally we played game night, and one night, and I won't go into like super details and it won't make sense to the audience if I go too deep, but we'll just say another comedian came on as a guest that night while I was out. And they sometimes like to torture this guy a little bit. Like I don't blame him. He can be annoying. So anyways,
Carlos Mencia.
No, fuck that guy. But so they start messing with him. And this won't be like super funny, but someone calls his wife a pig, and which like is mean, but I won't lie, I did laugh because I'm a mean person. And and he loses his shit and storms off the pod, but he's so angry he makes them delete the episode.
Wow.
And they almost never have had to do that.
Wow.
And then months later, he tried to be like, oh, maybe I overreacted. And they're like, can't get the episode back, but okay.
Yeah, we lost that. Thanks for making us trash a piece of material, which I never do. We did trash one episode, and Jewel remembered, and just it kind of went south. And Jewel's like, "Can we lose that?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can." And I normally don't. Like, if you subscribe to the Yo Show on YouTube, episode 99, back before we had decent mics and all, episode 99 was Brianna Dale. And if you don't know her and you're bisexual, look her up. She's an Instagram model with like 1 million followers. Let me give you this. Wait here.
Okay.
This is how much I love this woman. I hope my wife's not watching right now because my wife actually called this hall pass. So if you ever meet this girl, you're hall pass. Ready? This is Brianna Dale.
She's gorgeous.
Like smoldering hot, gorgeous, sexy, the whole 9 years.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Got her to come on the show. Again, pandemic time when people were, and came on. She used to be a bikini barista, like one of those coffee shops in California. She had stories that were awesome, and she was, I forget where the hell I was even going with this.
Oh, well, but the episode went bad?
No, the episode didn't go bad, but long story short, our audio was real bad back then. We had like the cheesy headsets. We sounded bad. Sure. She was great. Jules said, there was a picture of her hanging on the wall with her ass out. I'm like, I never noticed, and they didn't edit it. But Genius over here was so nervous to have her on with 1 million followers. I drank like crazy before the show. No. I smoked a little reefer before the show. And then when she came on, I'm like, want to do shots? She's like, I'll do shots for you guys. And we all grabbed bottles of booze and we were doing shots. At the end of the episode, I give Jewel the, hey, man, Hey, how much I love you, man. And she's like, what in the world? Yeah, I blew up, dude. I was, Jeffrey. That's when I know I'm in trouble. Sort of.
Shame, I know your name.
There was a different episode with pink headphones. There was a pink headphone episode, too.
Pink headphones sounds like when your head gets stuck between a pair of butt cheeks or something. Sounds like a sex move for Urban Dictionary.
It is now. Pink headphones. JD, you've invented something. Bring it on the Yo Show.
Adding it. And then Ray can use it for one of his sound out games on Happy Hour. Figure out this sentence.
It's not Jeffrey, it's Jeffany. So I have a twin sister.
Jeffany?
I got a twin sister. Look at this Naka. This is like the sexiest woman on earth. I gotta find the picture.
I'm dying to see this.
I gotta hope the picture is the picture still here. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. My twin sister, the beautiful Jeffany.
Oh, Jeffany.
Isn't she gorgeous?
She has some DSLs. Let me tell you.
Wow. I hope that means.
Hey, look at that.
Door-stopping lips.
Nope. No, it's the D is for dong. No.
Wow.
She's beautiful. I don't think she's going to save herself for marriage.
No, pretty sure that butt's been entered a few times. The scary thing is I went from this
beautiful
to this.
It does look like Rob Zombie cut off the head of
Oh, it froze. What happened? I'm back.
Oh, are we good? Oh.
We froze for a second.
Oh, weird. It was because we were just too hot for media. It's those liberals trying to shut us down.
How did the song come back up? I don't know what the hell just happened there, but here we are. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Let's do this. Yeah. Even though it looks like for some reason we have a snafu with our guest. Okay. I got to turn the volume down because we can't play the music. We're still going to show her video.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like a couple minute video of her doing it. It's kind of like one of those workout routine dances.
Hell yeah.
But it's, oh, Jesus Christ, look at this. I can't even watch this. Anyway, our supposed guest tonight, Janine Jericho, who didn't make it. Amazing. At least not at the moment. We're going to show this awesome fitness dance. Now remember, I got to turn the volume down because it's a Rob Zombie song and I'll get sued and they'll cancel my show and there it's
I'm telling you, it's the liberal media.
Liberal media. And actually, you know what? I'm going to play one of these goofy little StreamYard songs. So I have a song to play. Here we go. So let's get one of these corny little StreamYard songs. Jewel hates these two because one's cornier than the next. She's like, what in the world? Here, we'll play rock. Oh, yeah. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like porn rock. And we'll watch Janine Jericho dance. It's like right to the music.
Kind of, actually.
I know.
It's like America's Funniest Home Videos if you have a boner.
In that case.
Wow.
Gracious. Wow. Ashley's doing this next when we come back.
Yeah. They call me the sushi roll. Wow, she's incredible.
Right? It's amazing. Sweating. Yeah, I'm definitely sweating. I think I sweat.
That upper body strength is insane.
Right? Oh my god. I like how the music's still going. It's like they actually elongated the version, right? Man.
Oh, that's a move. That's a move. Woo.
I'm just hurting watching it. One arm is all I need right now, too.
This makes me want to go to the gym.
Makes me want to go to the bathroom.
That's amazing.
That really was awesome, but it was even more. We almost got a second video there at no cost.
I love that
Is the music gonna stop? There we go.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm just gonna talk through it. I love also, if anyone who follows her, Jess, you probably have seen this, when she also does her like fire and ice routine with another performer.
Yeah.
And they've done like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, like
Yes.
these full costumes, and then they strip down, and it's amazing.
It is. She is definitely one of a kind, and I'm telling
so
you, I
good.
definitely messed up time zones. That's exactly what we're in. I know that's what we're
Oh,
into.
That's
Maybe.
okay. That's all right. We'll get her
Still.
again sometime. But like truly, like I said, I hope if she hears this, if we don't get to see her tonight, I love this woman
Yeah.
so much. She is, like I was telling Jeff like pre-show, she is such a businesswoman, the way she promotes herself, the routines she comes up with, the way she markets herself, and again, she's good at what she does, that incredible athleticism, that sex appeal. She's so good at that. And that's something that I look up to her, like as a performer, nothing obviously like what she does, but as a woman, she's absolutely amazing. Like love her.
It seems to be like the sexier the guest, the tougher the time. Because we had. So, have you ever seen Below Deck?
Yes.
Okay, so we had Haley DeSolo Pinto scheduled to be on.
Okay.
You know, the redhead, with the flaming
Yeah.
red hair, and just like this absolute sex show, like the
Yeah.
only woman I kicked my wife out for. That's not named Ashley Pontius. Whoa! But yeah, like, and we had her scheduled, and little old me didn't realize she's no longer in America. She obviously went back to England where she lives.
Oh.
So the day of the show, I happened to be off from work. She messaged me in the morning and said, and she left voice messages.
Yeah.
Arousing. Darling, I seem to have mistaken. I thought it would be 1:30 in the morning. I mean, 1:30 in the afternoon. Here's
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning. And I won't be able to make it. I'm like, ouch. So I said,
Yeah.
let's arrange a pre-record. And we tried all day, and then her schedule
Yeah.
got busy, and we lost it. But
The cross the pond is hard because when I lived here in America and I was dating an Australian before I moved there, we were almost, it's not 24 hours, it's something like 23 or 17 hours, something like that. So like it's literally a different day,
right.
so it's already like a different day. It's not the same time as far as like, I think it'd be like 3 p.m. for me, and it's like 4 a.m. for him or some shit the next day.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
He wasn't in the mood, and you were in the mood, and then vice versa.
Yeah, he's also cheating on me, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, it's I won't. You're in the future. I was in the future, and then I came back to the future because you can't move for a man that cheats. You embarrass yourself, and then you spend $10,000 coming back home.
Sucker. That would have been my porn name. Speaking of Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox was going to be my porn name.
Oh,
Not bad,
I like
huh?
that. Do you also shake a lot? Is that how you?
No, maybe. You know why I came up with that? Because my middle name is Michael. My first name is Jeff. So J and this are Michael
That's
J.
not bad.
Fox, of course, is porn. So yeah,
That's not bad.
it's not bad. See, I missed my calling.
Yeah, being Ashley, I get some good ones. Like sometimes not my boyfriends, but my boyfriends, because they don't stand a chance. They call they call me Gashly. That's a fun one. Or they'll call me like Smashly Simpson. That's a fun one.
No, Hashley, like
No, I'm not a big weed girl, but I'm super into
Okay.
mushrooms.
really. Now that's the new wave. I'm afraid.
Huge fan.
Really.
Yes, literally life changing.
Let's pull the microphones in and get at it because I've always been a little afraid of them because I'm not good with substances. I have adverse effect. Like weed makes me hyper. It also does make me hungry. It makes
I don't
me
like weed.
Really.
No,
Now-
it doesn't do anything for me. Don't really enjoy it. But now mushrooms. So I started.
Yeah, give me
doing
the
mushrooms.
experience.
Yeah, I started doing mushrooms about a year ago, and I microdose them, and I take them as a tea. So one of my friends who gets them for me, the way he cuts them up, it like removes the part of mushrooms that can like upset a lot of people's stomachs and make it not enjoyable. But also when it's brewed into a tea, so it tastes like any sort of herbal tea you'd normally have. It makes it more enjoyable. Like eating shrooms, though I've never done the eating part, everyone says it's disgusting. So drinking it is so much easier,
Scares me.
and I microdose. Sometimes I take a big old dose, but when I started, I micro.
Sometimes like a micro, it's like a mushroom pizza.
Because now I'm used to it. Your tolerance can change, and how you're not afraid of it anymore. That type of thing. Yeah. So what JD saying? So I have both bipolar that I've had for 15 years, and I
Wow.
also have borderline personality disorder.
Wow.
And I was very unsure. Which, let's be very clear on this podcast. I'm not a doctor. We are not recommending you try anything we're talking about. So
Do not try this at home.
yeah, choose your own adventure. So I was a little scared because I obviously didn't want to mess up the mental health I had worked super hard to protect.
Sure.
And but I was having a lot of issues, like things that just weren't getting resolved, wasn't having a good time. And I have a few friends that do it semi-regularly, definitely recreationally, but they go, "Hey, Johns Hopkins has been studying it for a while now, and it's been shown to reduce a lot of issues for a lot of people, like JD said, with PTSD. And they've also been using it, if I'm not mistaken, to help people with dementia, because it helps reconnect neurons and help them refire, which is amazing. And then it also helps people who are in the end stages of cancer. They have shown studies that it actually really alleviates some suffering and helps them pass on very peacefully, as far as emotionally, in a great place.
Wow.
So for me, it has at times it has made me have more time in between depressed. So I've definitely seen an elevated mood. I've also been more receptive to healthy criticism. My personality, it's had a good effect on my personality, how I treat people, how I treat myself. It is enjoyable. I'm saying it is enjoyable. You do giggle a lot at first, depending on the size of the dose you take. Yeah, things can get a little shimmery and a little wavy, but I've never gotten sick from it, as far as nauseous or thrown up or had a panic attack or anything. If anything, I have only occasionally, worn a diaper, an adult diaper.
Wow.
because it is so euphoric and peaceful. I have been afraid that I will be so relaxed.
Wow.
I will pee.
Wow.
I haven't ever wet myself, but I'm afraid I will. So I've occasionally done that.
I'll do my research.
Yeah. And JD's right. Do your research.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to make their own decisions. I obviously trust the person I get it from. I do it, whatever. But I myself have become an advocate, and I never thought I would, because it has been life-changing for the positive for me. I don't do it regularly. Maybe when I was really sick and I really felt I needed it, I was doing it once a week or every 2 weeks. Like, again, microdose.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm only doing it maybe every 3 months to once every 6 months at this point. Like, I'm kind of really tapered off. But it's had long-lasting effects, and that's something they say about mushrooms, is that it can have really good, long-lasting positive effects for people. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And you talk about, do your research and don't trust him. Like, I watched this podcast, and the guy said smoke crack. It was the worst couple weeks of my life.
That's fair.
So,
I wouldn't tell you to. I wouldn't tell you to jump to DMT, which the same friends have also tried to get me to do that, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm fine.
Now? I hate to be naive. What is DMT?
So DMT, and I'm giving you my basic knowledge of it. DMT is, I'm pretty sure, chemically made. It's not natural to some extent, which is why I'm also like, no, I'm good. But DMT essentially is a substance that gets released in your brain when you die.
Wow.
They call it the God molecule or something. I'm kind of fuzzy on it, but it's very.
I'm made of God molecule.
It's very powerful, and because you can't get it unless you're dying. That's how they have a man-made ability to. But I'm good. I don't need to do that. I'll enjoy it when I die.
Right, exactly.
I'm fine with it. I have friends that wanted to do it. They do it. They occasionally enjoy it. I'm like, you know what? Not my thing. Joe Rogan is super into it. I'm like, I don't need to. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to be multi-millionaires in the world of podcasting. I used to hashtag I used to hashtag the shit out of him when I first started this. And it was like,
Yeah.
hashtag him, call him out. It didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know
It
why.
didn't work. I know. Like, who? Who's this guy? What?
But I mean, like, it's, there's people that do, what is it, like ayahuasca and peyote and stuff to have these transformative experiences. I'm not interested based on what someone says about them. Like, they're very intense to have those experiences. But
Yeah.
also, I feel like it's a little bit cultural appropriation because I know it matters to the native communities of the US. And I'm like,
Really?
nah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a very powerful religious experience to be using peyote or ayahuasca. So I'm like, I'm a whitey. I don't need to be taking other people's shit.
I mean, well, I pick and choose my oh my god moments.
Yeah.
That's not one of them.
That's fair.
So we obviously joked a little bit about the hoarding and what goes on behind me. Behind you, and I got to say this because my wife is a massive fan. I see your Eve 6 picture in the back.
Let's go. Yeah, I get picked on all the time on my podcast for that Eve 6 poster.
You're kidding me.
I love Eve 6.
My wife
They are
loves
awesome.
Eve 6.
They are great in person. They're super fun. I think they just had some new music come out. I love them. I get picked on all the time. Every time I log into the podcast, they'll be like, so Ashley, have you recently, I don't know, thrown your heart in a blender? Maybe succumbed to like a beautiful surrender? Maybe a little bit of oblivion? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Kyle.
Right, that is not even fun. And I didn't even know they
Thank you,
sung that
JD.
song. So
Oh, yeah.
here's JD Wolf is great. He's a great music guy as well.
Thank you.
Here's how I found out they sung that song.
Mhm.
Years back, went to Atlantic City and we went to see the band live, who since has parted, whatever. And they were on Friday night.
Mhm.
And then the next night, we're going through the casino we're staying at, and there was a show called the Summer something tour.
Okay.
And it was Soul Asylum,
Okay.
Eve 6, and I forget, there was 2 other bands. I forget. So anyway, like, my wife's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, really? So let's walk up and see what they got for tickets. Well, they had tickets still on sale.
Okay.
Because these are like the 90s bands. I was like, 90s bands. I'm like, I don't
I
give a
love
shit.
it.
We got tickets for $25 a piece. And
Nice.
then we turn around and this guy behind us like, hey, do me a favor. Go up top. Ask for Rick. He's going to get you into the balcony. Like a special, like almost like opera style balcony. I'm like, yeah, okay. So meanwhile, we're walking around with these tickets. We meet this dude. He's a pilot, private pilot for a multimillionaire. He's like, dude, I got hours to kill. What are we doing? This weird dude, 'cause my wife talks to everybody.
Yeah.
We take this dude on. We go to one of the beach bars. We're drinking. My wife's like, where's he get a ticket to this show? And he's like, yeah, fuck it. Meanwhile, these 2 little cutie pies come up next to us, and they start talking to him, and he's like, why don't you get a ticket? Me and my friends go. So, like, 6 of us end up, because somebody else got in this other house. So 6 of us end up in this balcony, and you have to buy beer to sit there. And the girl's like,
Yeah.
you got to buy at least a pitcher.
No.
So my guy, bring 3 pitchers and some cups. And so we drank, we hung out, we had fun. And the pilot guy's like, here's my cell number. Call me. We'll meet up after and we'll go hang out.
Okay.
I called him, and what did I get? Can't talk right now, dude. He had a threesome with the 2 little honeys. So dude got it on. We had an awesome time at the concert. Eve 6 was great. Soul Asylum was awesome. I wish I could remember who else was on that tour. There's a lot of bands that because she's like a 90s girl. I'm unfortunately an 80s guy.
Damn.
Because I'm old. I'm fucking
I was
old.
born in 92. So.
Ouch. 92, I was already prepared to die.
Damn. But no, I love Eve 6. I just got tickets to see Everclear and the
That's another one of her favorites. They might have been on that tour too.
I'm
Might have
really
been Everclear.
excited to see them, especially since I know their lead singer Alexi.
Alexi.
He's been struggling with MS diagnosis in the last couple of years. So
He has had the worst of luck health-wise, everything in his life. Yeah, he's had a bad life.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to just, I know that as people age and just dealing with that, their ability to tour will be winding down. So I'm really excited to see them. I did try to score tickets to the Summer of '99 cruise because Creed announced they were reuniting on the
Right?
cruise. And
Holy
I signed up for
shit.
the pre-sale because I was like, "Can you take me higher?" And
You
then
should be singing this. You're better than
thank you, Scott. They call me
Scott
Scat.
Stapp.
They call me Scat.
Scat
Scat
Stop.
Staff.
They call you Scat Stop. Like
Or I'm also Scott Staph infection.
very nice. Nicely done.
Gross. But they sold out like immediately.
Really?
I couldn't even get a cabin. They just immediately sold out. But it was gonna be Creed, Fuel, I think maybe like the Offspring.
What?
Like all these 90s bands were getting together for the summer of '99. And I was like, oh my God, I've gotta go. And then they just immediately sold out. And I was like, in my hands again. I was so sad. I was like, all my butt rock bands.
Yeah, butt rock.
Well,
Well,
butt rock. Have you never heard that term?
no,
Butt rock is not nice, but it's funny. So butt rock
not nice.
is bands that all essentially are the same genre, but it's like Fuel and Creed and maybe like Buck Cherry, and like they all kind of have the same vocal, or like maybe even Seether, but like they're pretty good. But it's just this whole it's like this whole style of music. Or Limp Bizkit has even probably been considered butt rock, where they're like, now you're a middle-aged dad and you thought you were fucking cool, but you're a dirtbag. That's butt rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I got a lot of bands to take off my list because I still like them bands.
I love butt rock. I'm now unashamed. I used to be in the closet about it, and now I'm like, it's just one of those things. And
You have destroyed your closet. You've come out of it flying over the last
I have a
couple
lot
weeks.
of I have a lot of closets. I'm like one of those creatures from Monsters Inc. I just keep busting through closets, and I'm like, secret Satanist, bam, secretly bisexual, bam, secretly love Creed.
Bam! Secretly will beat the shit out of Carlos Mencia. Bam!
I will fuck Carlos if you're listening. I'm gonna fucking gut you like a fat pig, you piece of shit. Yes, JD, new Spotify playlist, Butt Rock, 100%.
I like it. I'm
Butt
down for some
Rock,
butt rock.
99.1 The Bay. You're listening to Butt Rock with Ashley and Jeff. We're taking requests right now. And now up on the radio, this is Worst Enemy by Lit.
I love that song.
I
Oh
do
my
love that
God.
song.
Hey, guys and gals, let's get ready for some Limp Bizkit. Keep on rolling.
We are currently giving away 2 tickets to Ashley's bedroom. You don't have to wear a condom. Can you answer this question?
Name your top 5 butt rock bands.
Yeah. You know what?
Butt rock.
That is a good question. Actually, no, if we're a butt rock station, though, the questions would be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, what is your favorite year of WrestleMania?
Well, then, you know.
I've actually turned into a wrestling fan. I was never into wrestling, wasn't raised on it. I'm a girl, the way
I
my
don't
family
mind it.
was. No, now I'm a fan. But also, I like to make up different names as my logins when I'm on like other shows and things, or when I'm gaming. So, but it's all like fat or like sex related. So like Cody Chodes instead of Cody Rhodes. BJ Styles. That's another good one.
Well done. I like that one.
Thank you. Sasha Stanks. That's
Sasha Stanks.
That's a fun one. They also call me Triple Preparation H.
Very nice.
Thank you, which I enjoyed.
I used to think I was quick. You're quick. Very good.
Oh no! It's trauma. As soon as I get off cameras, I go and stare at myself in the mirror, and I just hear in my own dick flare. That's a good one. The only thing, I just stare in the mirror and I just hear in my own head, all around me are familiar faces.
Oh
I just
my
put on
God,
the
that's-
lipstick and I'm like, you whore. You whore.
Pretty.
Tell me I'm pretty. Yeah.
So
it's a
I
real-
know why you got into wrestling. I'm going to show you. Tell me if I'm wrong. Oh, I got to find it first.
Okay.
Oh. Right here. And this is like the Alexa Bliss.
What is he? Amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Isn't she like the
Amazing.
hottest little thing?
She is, but I'm not gonna lie. I get real damp for Rhea Ripley.
You know what?
Hmm.
Look, here we go with another topic because we're rolling. Now, my buddy Paul watches. He's not like we're not like wrestling geeks, but we watch.
Sure.
And he's like, "Oh, I can't stand her. Oh, she's horrible." And then I started like looking at her old pictures.
Thank
Then I
you.
started putting them down with the new pictures. I'm like, she's sexy in like this
So hot.
real weird, bitchy kind of way.
Real lesbian dominatrix vibes.
Yes, like she would kick my
let's
ass,
go.
and I probably would let her. I'd be like, okay. Like,
So hot. The way she pins her female peers is hot as fuck. Her entire vibe, she exudes dominance and self-confidence. She is chef's kiss, mommy like.
wow.
She can call me her little bitch and I'll call her mommy because she's a hot piece of ass and I would let her step on my throat.
Wow, I
Love her.
would. I'm a giver. I'm a person. I'm a people person. I love to help. I will videotape that entire.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
A
The
really
only
good little
time I'm
asshole.
ever on the ropes is when I can't get my tampon out.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was graphic. I'm sorry.
So for all you expecting to see Janine and Jericho, we're doing even better. We got Ashley Pontius here with us as an awesome special guest. With it just like, and I can tell I'm a little jealous because I have this high pitched, whiny voice, and you've got like this perfect like, grab you by the shirt, make you sit down in the chair kind of podcast voice, dude. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god. No, I really appreciate. No, you do not have a high pitched, whiny voice. How dare you? No, I you know what it is? It's I'm semi Miss Nude Nicaragua. Fuck yeah, that's hilarious. I was in Nicaragua for a while. That's very funny. You're a great listener.
He
No,
is
he's
a
picking
great
up
listener.
everything. I super appreciate it. No, I always like grew up kind of masculine, like a tomboy,
Yeah.
because and like this is sort of a serious thing to say, but the truth is I've always been a big girl my whole life, and I think you're always, especially growing up in the '90s, you were very ingrained from '90s and early 2000s that like it was always the thin Victoria's Secret thing, and it was
Yeah.
very much pushed down your throat that like if you're not that, you're the fat friend to both guys and girls. Like you're not fuckable. So like obviously your voice is your natural pitch, but I also think there was just this constant like defeminizing of me. And now that I'm older, you know, I kind of grow into the voice that you kind of find a middle ground between what's real, what's not on stage, and but I also love to over feminize now to where I try to be like I will suck your dick. And guys are like, oh, tell me more. And I'm like, oh, well. And then thank you. I try to be sultry. It's still a little deep. But you know what could be deeper? Your tongue between my ass cheeks. And stuff
This
like
is-
that. So I just try to stretch it out, a little less. Did you know Victoria's Secret was created by a man in Ohio? I do, because only a man in Ohio would make clothing so uncomfortable like that of Victoria's Secret. In fact, I worked for Lane Bryant, which was their fat girl competitor, and
Right, I remember that.
one of our campaign slogans for a while was "I'm no angel." To get back to Victoria's Secret
I like
angel
it.
thing. Yeah, it was a very good campaign. They also did one called like Plus is Equal, which was like a decent campaign. And then they went bankrupt because again, men were also running Lane Bryant. So
Gotcha. That is not a good comedy. But I always said, like, I joke around about, like, style sizes, and I always say, like, I don't like spaghetti.
well, here's the
I mean, I
thing.
do like spaghetti, but I don't like
Yeah,
human
not all the time.
spaghetti, so to speak.
Well, not all
You know
the
what I mean?
time, but I mean, I have very beautiful friends, whether it's in the adult entertainment industry, whether it's friends I've known since high school, other women in comedy, like Megan, for example, kind of compared to me, very petite, smaller body, which again, phenomenal. Those women should be applauded for their hot fucking bodies. But it is interesting, and I'll say this about the pandemic. The number of married men that were in my DMs trying to get a little hookup is appalling, but also says a lot because some of these men were married to very skinny women
Mm-hmm.
But then we're like, oh yeah, like I'm super into you and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, you do like this body type, but you won't admit it publicly.
Right.
And I'm
I've
like,
got
interesting.
I've got friends who have said that recently, and they're like, men like me in private, not in
Yep.
public. And I'm like, dude,
It's
just like
shocking.
own your life. But
Yeah. People shouldn't be embarrassed. You like what you like. I
yeah,
tend to like skinny. Well, I usually always have a type, which is like I always tend to like very skinny, tall dudes. I think just because they're my opposite. Like I just found it, attractive. But more recently, I'd also been, started to get attracted to these more football types, where it's really big up top, very broad, not necessarily your skinny dudes, but very muscular.
yeah,
I'm like, it's the person. You gotta like the person. Like for me, like as a woman, I think it is different a
sure.
little bit for women than men. But like I gotta like your personality. Like if I don't think a guy's funny, I don't care how hot he is. I'll fucking stab him.
So my wife always says, like, do you always have to be funny? Yes.
Yeah, you've gotta find them appealing. Like it's funny goes with personality. Like I've been very lucky to have sex with some very hot top 10 like level hot dudes, but I wouldn't call them back because they're boring as shit.
Yeah, and trust me, that. And when I was single,
Hmm.
before I met my wife, some nice dates,
Hmm.
some decent girls to sleep with, etc.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't get it. I'm like, dude, it's like talking to a wall. Like,
Yeah.
the conversation is.
Boring.
And that's what my wife, meanwhile, never shuts up. And that's beautiful. She talks to everybody about
Yeah.
anything at any time. And I love
Yeah.
it because, and my mother, God rest her soul, said, you know what I like about her? No matter what the party is, no matter where we're at, no matter what we're doing, it's always going to be alive because Cassie's going to talk and have everybody involved. And you don't get a chance to say, nah, no, you're going to talk. Damn
I
it.
do love that in someone because I do think everyone needs. I like that personality in people when I do meet them because I like someone that's not exclusive. They're inclusive. They try really hard to make other people comfortable, and they want people to feel connected and not drive people apart and really go, well, you're not a part of this conversation. You're not a part of this group.
Yeah, I
You know,
don't.
I think
Yeah.
that's a wonderful personality to have.
I agree. And like, unfortunately, sometimes it leads to strange people's phone numbers in my phone, male or female. It's like, oh, this girl here works at this and she's going to call us on Monday for this and that. I'm like, and then Monday comes, I'm like, who the fuck's number is that?
Oh, that's very funny because me and my co-host on Quality Time, I one time needed his help. So we were like trying to get me to log into his email because I just needed help with something. And it accidentally synced our phones.
Oh, man.
So then I ended up with all of his contacts. And you have to understand, he's even more popular with people than I am. He's even more social than I am. And he's older than I am. So he's known 10 plus years of more people than I have.
Wow.
And so all of his contacts get synced to my phone. And I don't realize this happens until I'm trying to find someone in mine. And again, he's a man. And there are things saved in my phone now that are like, fuck face Brian or pig face Tara or piss mouth Tammy.
Wow. You got to call one of these people. Yeah.
Oh, but they're people he knows, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna cause a problem. But it's funny. So then, as like revenge, sort of, he is saved in my phone as fuck pig.
There you go. Well, it even said that's got to be crazy. See, my phone. Again, I've had some decent guests through the years, and you ever watch Shameless?
I kind of was not a fan, but I've seen the show.
Okay, so Steve Howie, who was also on Reba and who's on Shameless, now he's
Yeah.
on this new show, True Life. So he's in my phone
Oh,
from being on the show because back then we used to be just audio, so we had to call in. He
Okay.
calls, I see his number, and he even said, he's like, copy it so you know it's me.
yeah.
And I'm like, sure. Madeline Zima, who used to be the little girl in The Nanny, who grew up to be absolutely gorgeous,
Yeah.
she called me to pre-qualify the show to make sure I was on the up and up.
Right.
And so people like that, and Janine Jericho, which is why I'm blowing her up, she's like, here's
Yeah.
the number, send me the link to the phone number. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. So one year, Brianna Dale, who I showed Brianna Dale. So one night we're sitting here, my buddies from Staten Island come over. He's like, no way, call her. I'm like, I'm not going to call her. And they kept saying, call her. I'm like, I'm not going to call her. They kept saying it. Like, yeah, call her. Sure.
Yeah, right.
Right. And they keep saying it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck this. So I text her. I said, my friends from Staten Island don't believe you were on my show. Don't believe you're the girl from the calendar. Blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. She messages back. She says, hello, New York. This is Brianna out in California. She's like, if you don't believe me, and she sends a picture of her face. Just her face.
Okay.
Like, taking it. And they're like, holy shit, call her. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not calling her. And they're like, call her. I'm not calling her. And
Yeah.
one year, shame on me, New Year's Eve, I called Steve Howie to wish him Happy New Year's. And my wife's like, give me the phone. Give me the phone. I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, I want to talk to him. He didn't answer.
Oh.
He now hates me probably. He hasn't come back on the show since. So.
You know, well, but I mean, he's gotten insanely, almost sort of re-famous again.
Yeah, he did. This new show was big. He was on twice. And the
Yeah.
funny thing was the first time he was on, I was new to podcasting.
Sure.
Reached out to him, reached out to his PR people. Don't think nothing of it. Think, all right,
Yeah.
they're going to tell me to go to hell.
Sure.
I'm at work. The phone rings. It says California. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's spam.
I didn't pay that credit card bill again.
Right. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, hello, this is Javier Delgado. Is Jeff Purdy there? I'm like, yeah, bud. You got him. He's like, oh, I was returning your email in reference to Steve Howie. And I'm like, excuse me?
That's crazy.
He's like, Steve Howie? I'm like, oh, can you hold on 1 second? Good afternoon, Jeff Perini's office. Like, I'm like totally changed my persona.
Yeah.
And we set it up and he came on and he was really cool. So
Aw.
I messaged him about a year later. And I said, how about doing it again?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, come on again. I'm like just
That's
dying.
awesome.
So he comes on the show and he's doing he was on a show briefly. I think it was like a Navy SEAL show or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
remember that vaguely.
So he's shooting it while we call him. So he's like, I'm on my lunch break. I'm going to walk over to the taco
Aw.
stand. And he starts speaking Spanish, ordering tacos, eating tacos on the show. It was,
That's wild.
here's the best part. We talk about phone numbers you don't recognize.
Yeah.
So he says, call me. The guest spot's always 8:30. He says, call me at 8:30, your time. I'll answer. Call him up. He answers, hello. I'm like, yes, hey, Steve Howie. He's like, yeah, Steve Howie. I'm like, how you doing, man? This is Jeff. Yeah, what do you want, bud? I'm like, you gave me your number to call you. We're calling you, and we're live. He's like, look, dude, what do you want from me? I'm like, Jeff and Jewel from the Yo Show. He's like, oh my God, dude. I thought you were like a telemarketer. I was getting ready
Oh
to
my
tell you to go
God.
fuck yourself right on the air. I'm like, oh my God. But
Ooh, that's bad.
I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God, Steve Howie's going to kick my ass. Like,
Yeah,
in here,
you're just
it's like-
getting shit on, and you're like, I don't know why.
I know, I'm like, I thought you wanted to come on my show. Meanwhile, you just wanted me to drop dead. But
That's
yeah,
terrifying.
It was. I'm like, oh my God, we have bombed. And it was before this. It was just
Yeah.
audio. And me and Jewel used to get on Google Hangouts. We could see each
yeah.
other. And she's like, and I'm like, oh my God, like, we have just died here.
Yeah.
And they say this. I should send his new PR people like, oh, he dissed me on my show. Bring him back.
That's true. Be like, hey, he owes me.
And we got blown off big time by Lita Ford twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rockstar Lita Ford set us up, and she was going to be on the show. And then when you talk about that comedian lady with the money, kind of a crackhead. I think
the
this
weirdo.
woman, right? I think this woman who was lined up on IMDb as her PR woman was a scam.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, Lita's in the California wildfires, and she's not going to come on. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, she messaged me and says, I apologize. Lita's ready. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, we're going to set up another night for her. She doesn't show twice. So then I'm going to give you this guy, and this guy does public relations for Ace Frehley from Kiss and Foghat, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and Paul Rogers from bad company, and I'm like, holy
That's cool.
shit. I messaged the guy, and he's like, you got the wrong number, bud. I'm like, no, Lisa told me. He's like, who the hell is Lisa?
Yeah.
Lisa represents Lita Ford. He's like, Lita Ford is represented by so-and-so and so-and-so. And he's like,
Oh,
I
shit.
don't, and he's like, I don't represent these people. Why are you even texting me? I'm like, oh my God. So it went very bad.
That's so shitty. People are wild.
Wild.
What they will like lie about. That lady sounds like the Casey Anthony of lying. Because
Right?
do you remember that whole thing with Casey Anthony when she was on
Yeah.
trial and how she lied that she worked at Disney and even gave the cops a tour of Disney, like the offices, I think, before she finally was like, I don't work here.
And this is, fuck it, I don't work here.
Like I still, to this day, out of all the things that happened in that trial, sorry to bring it up, hashtag, and I could not believe that it didn't freak anybody else out. The fact that she was found innocent. So I'm like, don't you find it weird that she took officers around these facilities and lied and said she worked there and then finally was like, you caught me. Like, what? Like even OJ knew not to crack under that pressure. What is wrong with you?
I mean, he's flat out, yeah, I'm in the Bronco. Like, here I am. Like,
Yeah, well, he wrote a book called If I Did It. I'm like, Casey Anthony's gonna write a book called If I Killed Her.
she's gonna write a book called "Yeah, I Did It." Want to go to Disney? Like some.
Oh, dude, right? Like how?
And when you're dudes, and I'm embarrassed by this, especially to say this on this podcast, when you're a dude, you and your friends start to say who's hotter, Amy Fisher or Casey Anthony, and you're like, wow. And my female friends like, you guys are freaking disgusting. I'm like, well,
I'm throwing in a third option. Jodi Arias.
Ooh, that's tough. Jodi Arias is pretty sexy.
That Mormon pussy. Real
Right?
crazy.
She's crazy. She might be the
Did
craziest.
you ever see the butthole pics?
No.
You got to go looking for those butthole pics.
Wow.
Jodi Arias butthole pics.
I was looking at him like, I'd let her murder me.
Yeah, she did someone did let her murder them.
Yeah.
His name was Travis.
Poor Travis.
Poor Travis. Very sad.
The
very
opinions of
unfair.
the Yo Show do not reflect the opinions of any normal person on the face of this earth. But, and that's like where, like, like, and again, hate me here, but like the dad of Casey Anthony's children, God rest him, like, man, she's hot. And then you realize, man, she's nuts. Like, how scary is that to be linked to that?
But you know what's crazy is we still, to this day, do not know who the father of her child is.
I know. I guess not.
Like, no idea who this man is. Which by the way, I would almost have to assume that whoever the dad is doesn't know he's the dad, right?
Probably not. Because
You know what I'm saying? We think he'd either come forward and testify against her and be like, oh, I had ideas that she was nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
sell a book.
Or he's also so like ashamed of her and what happened that he's like, don't involve me with that shit. That girl's a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Which is always very like possible. But I almost think it has to be a dude that has no idea he knocked her up in any way, shape, or form.
I agree with that. You can't because, like I said, somebody would have come out and said something.
Well, she had her pregnancy up until she was apparently so pregnant, she couldn't hide it anymore. And her mom was like, I know you're not just fat. Look at you. You're not just fat. And she's like, no, I've been eating Twinkies. And then she's like, no, I know you're pregnant. What the fuck? Like, this kid, she was a mess. I'm just, she's a topic that I get so worked up about.
Yeah.
And JonBenet Ramsey. That case is crazy.
That is crazy. And again, I don't want to throw my opinion out. I got a good opinion who I think did it.
So do I. We both go on 3.
1, 2, her dad.
No, you know what? I used to think it was the dad. I used to my whole life.
Now you think it's the mom?
No.
No?
No. There's two things that have come up recently. Oh yeah, the show I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. That shit's hilarious.
It's pretty wild.
These girls are like, Tom Segura does a great, we'll go back to that in a second. Tom Segura does a great bit about I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. If you've never seen that special, he talks about these women being like, I had to take a shit but it wasn't a shit. It turned out to be a baby. Like, it's very
God.
funny because it's true. Like, do you feel it kick? And she's like, I thought it was gas. But so the JonBenet Ramsey case. So partly why I don't think it's the dad. The dad recently went to a true crime like convention where experts actually were, and he gave them as many DNA samples of things that he could because we've come so far with DNA testing in hopes of finding her killer.
Oh,
So I mean,
sad though.
it truly is. But it also, to me, I think if you're in my eyes, I think if you're truly, truly guilty, you would not want to be helping. You would not want to be caught. You would not want to be so he has been, and here's the other reason I think he also didn't do it, and he's been desperately trying to clear it. He knows he's getting older. His wife has already died of cancer. I think he is desperately trying to clear their names before they die and also find out who did it. My theories have been, one is like a little shaky, so I'm going to say it's like not a strong theory, but there has been theory for a long time that something happened with the brother.
Oh,
The other one is, it turns out they've also
Michael
said-
Jackson.
Oh God, that
Wow.
man. Don't
Wow.
get me started on that one.
The opinion on the O show.
Right. But the other thing is, they're now saying that and I've heard this for years, the Colorado police fucked up that investigation. Like, they trampled through like evidence areas and they didn't like do it right, which I've heard from several sources. The other thing is, there was a man that I think they said was like employed or working for them, and there's a lot of things there that kind of maybe add up. So like, we obviously don't know, but I gotta be honest, that story came out when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and it is such a sad, awful, terrible story that I hope in my lifetime that we ever get definitive proof. We just found out last week who killed Tupac.
We did.
We did. Yeah, someone has come forward and said they were in the car with his killers.
Really?
Yep.
I did not hear the story.
In that according to this person, that P. Diddy did say, I want his head.
Wow.
And then didn't pay the bounty, I think. That he's kind of offering. And then these people were like, fuck you. And then that's how the cross like murdering started. Yeah.
Man.
How awful.
Right?
Terrible. But also at the same time, it's America. Every day there's going to be a new murder,
True. While we're like dancing around morbid and death and all that, a very sad one today, actually, that I had to share.
Yeah.
Sad, depending on how you look at her life and her career. It got very twisted. Sinead O'Connor at 56 years old. Now, of course, everybody remembers Nothing Compares to You, written by Prince. Although Prince sung it terribly, and she sang it wonderfully. His version sucked. His version sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't for him. It was never meant for him. I think it was always meant for her.
Right, and he wrote a lot of great songs. Sheena Easton's Sugar Walls was a Prince song.
Yeah.
But 56-year-old, now there's rumors, of course, and I haven't had a chance to really read that it was suicide.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people said that, ever since the Pope thing, she's been pretty much ruined.
Well, it definitely affected her career. I mean, definitely during that time.
There's misses.
She was very, hey girl, hey. She was sort of blacklisted definitely during that time. And because of where she's from, the Pope is such a big political statement to make that type of thing. But no, so yeah, the story being that her 17-year-old son died by I think I understand, suicide a year ago.
Wow.
And people are saying that her last social media post was talking about how much she missed him and how she was never going to be the same again.
Wow. Definitely,
So, yeah.
She definitely had a downward spiral. And I remember I actually watched the Pope episode
Of
live.
SNL? Yeah.
Yeah, watched it live. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, she's done. And I was like, man, it's a picture of the Pope. Who really cares?
It was amazing.
And it all went downhill from there. Like,
But
wow.
I stand with her, and I shared that image today in memorial of her, because for me, it's such a powerful statement.
It's strong. It's daring too.
Well, because it's a religious icon. It's a worldwide religious icon of morality and all this stuff. But my understanding, because you have to understand, that happened the year I was born, so I'm looking at it in retrospect.
killing me with that age thing. But
sorry, but it's true. But what a statement about sex abuse in the church. You know, like what a statement about everything the church had done that no one was dealing with. All these things she made. And again, she probably knew when she did it on some level that it was some level of social suicide.
Sure.
And she believed in it so strongly. And, you know, I compare it to even stronger, but you know, you look what happened to the Dixie Chicks, now known as the Chicks. But you look at them, they stood up for something very simple that they believed that, like, hey, we weren't for the war. We didn't feel like he was our president, which whether you agree with him or not, but these girls were blacklisted
Yeah.
for years, which now again you look back, how many people share that sentiment that they had, but those girls took the bullet for it.
They really did. And
Yeah.
like I said, we don't do a lot of politics here for that reason, because people will look at you badly.
Yeah.
Or
But I think any artist who does a big statement for what they believe in within like reason, like they're not hurting other people, that kind of thing. But a big statement, I'm like, good for you.
yeah.
Like, you know, even Lil Nas X, who is a gay now like award-winning artist, when
Yeah.
he did the music video Montero, I think it was. And then he made those limited edition sneakers that were like
Yeah.
satanic and had the blood in it or
Yeah,
whatever.
remember that? Yeah, oh God.
Yeah, so controversial. And people wanted to get their panties in a twist. I'm like, hey, it's meant to be controversial. That is the point.
Right.
He's trying to get you worked up. But also for him, he said it was a statement. He said, because I'm a very out gay man, he's like, people growing up my whole life said I was doing the devil's work, called me the devil, said I was in line with Satan because I was gay. And he's like, so why not? I'm like,
Hit
yeah,
it, right?
yeah, good for you, dude.
Some
But yeah,
people
I'm
will
so
take risk.
Yeah, I'm just, but I am so sad, like you said, I'm so sad to see that she succumbed, you know, potentially to grief
Yeah.
and trauma, and I'm so sad to hear this.
Just always seemed like a trauma-ridden person. Like, and even in the video when they talk about her crying, and I remember seeing an interview. She's like, "Well, they just wanted me to find a deep emotion, and it came right out." And I'm like, "Man, like I couldn't cry on command if I tried."
Yeah. Well, I'm very sad too to think that obviously I've never been through a group like that. Like I've never been a mother, I've never lost a child, I've never been through that. But I am very sad to think that if that is what happened, you know, she's a mom of 4.
Yeah,
She left behind 3 other children.
that's the tough part. That's the part that gets you. If
Yeah.
you take yourself, that's the part that gets you. And I gotta be honest, I still have never even heard that song. I don't even know what it is. Not in a small town. Okay,
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah.
But people get hurt by a lot of things nowadays.
Yeah.
I grew up with Archie Bunker and
Oh, yeah.
Jeffersons, and George Carlin was my favorite comedian.
Oh yeah.
So nothing really bothers me, and I've been called WAP and Dago and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay, haha.
Yeah.
I don't know where we all went wrong with the sensitivity, but
Well, but I think my opinion as someone who grew up very much in the church, who's now very much out. Excuse me. I find
got closet
that
again.
people get so angry. It has nothing, not even, I mean, nowadays, obviously, race can be a very big topic, but man, especially during the 90s and the 2000s when I was growing up, and even today, religious. If it has a religious connotation and people think you're attacking, I will say the overall, specifically Christian church, so many people think they are martyrs. And I'm going to say this as someone who again was going to school to be a pastor. I was Catholic at one point. I was evangelical most of my life, and I was with their holy rollers at one point, like the Pentecostals. So I've seen a lot. Okay, I've seen a lot. And
Obviously.
they love to be martyrs. They love to feel persecuted by everybody. And I'm like, hey, guess what? You're not. I would love it if you just left me the fuck alone. Go do whatever you want to do. I don't really care. But they're like, no. I'm being martyred because you don't like what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, I just go do it over there. I don't need prayer in school personally. I'm like, I don't need prayer in school. You can do it. I don't care, but don't make my kid do it, in my opinion.
Right. And that I was always fine with that. And
Yeah. I thought being like this nation, this is what always troubles me is is, and I'm going to get a little religious for everybody, and you can fight me later. I don't care. But when I was going to school to be a pastor, one of the things that always stuck out to me and would later stick out to me after I left, which is Jesus taught very much that if you follow him, especially in the New Testament, if you follow him, you will not have an easy life. Your kingdom is in heaven, and it's not here. This is going to be a terrible place for you. You're not
Right.
going to be popular. You're not going to be liked. You're not going to be in places of power because that's not where you belong. You'll get yours in the next life because you suffered like through this. But it's always funny to me when modern, I would say modern Christians, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, love to bully others. Like, I want prayer in school, and I want certain movies and things not on television,
Oh.
and all these restrictions on other people. And they want to be in power in the White House and in positions of power in media and companies and all these things. And I look at it and I go, that's not really what your God was about. He was a poor person. The whole thing was your God became a poor dude that no one cared about because he wanted to be the lowliest of the low. All through the New Testament, he talks about it is so hard for a wealthy, it's in the Bible, super hard for a wealthy man to get into heaven. He doesn't say it's impossible, but he said it's very hard because you worship wealth. And then you've got pastors like Joel Osteen that are like health and wealth. Like,
Yeah.
God, if God loved you, he'd make you rich. And I'm like, that sounds like blasphemy.
It sure does.
Sorry, I'm on a
And
tangent, but just
that, because the funniest thing about, like, you talk about, like, God, Jesus, etc., Jesus being poor was, I think it was the first or the second Raiders of the Lost Ark, or the third, when they looked for the Holy Grail.
yes.
And the Holy Grail, and they said, the cup of a carpenter.
Yes.
A wooden, cheesy ass carved out
Yes.
cup instead of all these beautiful golden chalices that everybody assumes is godlike. It's
Yes.
not. It was a basic
Yeah.
carved out cup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 100%. I would encourage any listeners that tuned in tonight. You know, we as a guest host, we are so happy to have you. We welcome all walks of life. You know, no hate, no shade, no tea. But I would encourage those of you, if that is something you align with in the Christian faith, I would encourage so many of you to be introspective, to welcome people that are not like you, who have perspectives you may not be open to. And again, you know, someone who you might think would know anything about your religion or your lifestyle or your choices, you'd be surprised. There's a reason
Yeah.
some of us walk away.
There was still a lot of seclusion. And even, I hate to use this reference because people pick on me for it, but I did, in fact, see the Barbie movie.
Oh, I haven't
My
seen
wife, okay, my wife wanted to go. I went, and I'm not going to give you a lot of spoilers, but
Sure.
I'm going to say, when it comes to loving everybody, accepting people, that's a movie.
it. Yeah.
Take your kids, etc., etc., etc. That's all I got to say. Thank you, kids.
Oh, thank you.
He's a great
No,
dude.
it's a wonderful thing to get to be with people because, you know, no matter what waits for you on the other side, you know, I think no matter who's in charge, what's out there, I think, yeah, if this is all you know, you got to be good to people. And,
Right.
you know, it's not worth fighting with people. It's not worth being hateful. You know, like I said, I get heated. I get upset about that topic, especially when I discuss, you know, sometimes with family members who still belong to that faith and everything. But at the end of the day, though, rules are so less important than loving people.
Yeah,
You know?
honestly, and it always makes you laugh because when you see how simple it is. Like in my job, I work in a car dealership in the service department. You want to talk about
Okay.
the guy who has got the target on his chest.
Yeah.
And I smile at everybody. I give him this great talk. And one of my coworkers said, he's like, when we needed to hire somebody new, we didn't expect you.
Yeah.
The way you're friendly, the way you smile. He's like, you fit what we do here. And I'm thinking, like, it's not these people's fault that they buy a car that breaks down.
Right.
It's not their fault that they got to spend all this money.
Yeah.
They don't want, nobody wants to come see me. They kind of have to.
Yeah.
Don't make it difficult on them. Really,
No.
they're just people. I mean, they'll yell at me sometimes, but
Sure. But that's the right way to be. You know, you do your best. You try to make people's lives easier. And who knew that we would go from buttholes to the Bible?
I expected it.
I didn't.
It's in the timeline. Starts. All I did was send Ashley 2 words on the timeline: butthole, Bible, and here we are.
Can't
Now
you
I'm running.
fit an entire Bible in your butthole? And I was
Depends
like,
on-
give me one of those little Gideon ones that they used to stick in the hotel drawers, folded up like a wrap. Just
And
be
a
like,
little-
Caesar.
and a little tap hammer.
Oh God!
Right. I gotta tell you, despite not getting Janine with us tonight, I had a fantastic time.
Ew.
And we would definitely love to invite you back sometime and do
Of
it because
course.
it was a lot of fun. Ashley, again, shocked that I did this, but I'm gonna do it again. There it is. Right? Is that it? No, that's it down there. It is Hot Girl Summer Comedy Show. It's at starts at 7 p.m. August 11th.
It's at the Aura, which is in Greencastle, PA. Tickets are only $20, and you get free wine with your ticket. You get white or red wine. It's a beautiful venue. Thank you so much for sharing it. Please also follow Quality Time.
Hold on, take the picture out so you can give us that.
Yeah, woo! We are on Spotify and Stitcher, so like all the major streaming podcasts. So if you like horror movies, you like me, you like my co-host Eric Woodworth, who's been on Happy Hour Pod. He's a great comedian, or his brother Jeremy, who has a chronic rat problem in his house, and we get sick by it, and we giggle about how gross he is, but we love him.
That is gross. But rats and mice don't really chase. People think they chase dirt. They don't. They chase anywhere they can fit their face in.
No, it's very funny. We just put out this week, because Eric's on vacation, we just put out a best of episode of some of like our funniest clips over the last
I
year.
always wanted to do that.
It's very fun. And there is a clip on that episode of Jeremy telling us that he thought he was getting rat poison, and he had accidentally been feeding them rat bait. So he just kept attracting more rats, and I almost peed myself. It's one of the funniest things I ever heard.
Oh
and
my!
It nearly killed me. So
I used to be in pest control, so I know how
it was
disgusting. Oh my
it was
god!
bad. It's very disgusting.
Oh.
It's very funny.
Rats
no, I
are
don't-
disgusting.
Rats are disgusting, but I had a wonderful time. Thank you, everyone who came out and watched and listened. And thank you, Jeff, for having me. I super appreciate it.
Absolutely, definitely will. And you can see this face again Friday on the Happy Hour Pod. I'm going to be a special guest co-host, and I'm going to read them because our Orioles took a shit, and the Phillies won, and the Yo Show. Ashley, you are joining a championship podcast tonight.
Oh my God! Even though I'm an O's girl, but fuck the Baltimore Orioles. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Philly is where it's at.
Yeah.
The Yo Show, where it's at.
Yeah, they're number
So,
3. But
number 3. We're going to try and best of the O. I'm so bad with technology, though, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, I had a blast. Would definitely like to do this again. Your delivery is awesome. Your setup is awesome, and even though you talk badly about my church, I still love you. Where's Jim Baker at so we can all cry together? I'm sorry. It's okay. The opinions of Ashley Pontius are truly the opinion of me, as long as it has to do with me having a sexy beard. Speaking of sexy
There
beard,
you go.
before we go, let's not forget, I always forget this, I suck at this. Our sponsor, the awesome dudes at the Moist Collective Beard Products, naturally made right here in beautiful downtown Bucks County. www.rumoist.com and use the code YOSHO20 to get 20% off your order. Ships to anywhere in the United States, and any order over $35, Ashley, zero shipping.
you better have a moist beard.
I do. I've got.
I'm
yes.
a moist beard. There's a lot of gay dudes that have been a part of my life.
That is awesome. Yeah, moist. My man Brent knows.
Moist.
He gave me a whole stack of great stickers that Are You Moist, and people just ransacked them. They're all
I
gone.
love
They're
that. Moist beard. I like that.
gone. Moist beard. The moist
Moist beard.
collective.
Yeah, save that 20%.
Now that's a great commercial. Why am I doing it? Yeah, dude, get your beard oil. Meanwhile, Ashley's like pretty much orgasming over the.
I am, yeah. It's very sexy.
The moist collected. All right, so we're going to get out of here with the music of St. Ricketts, www.stricketts.com. It is The Catalyst. Great song. For Ashley Pontius, I am Jeff the Shark Perney. Thanking everybody for tuning in. Don't forget the replays 24/7 on YouTube at The Yo Show, Twitch at The Yo Show, Facebook is the Stoop Radio Network. We'll see you Tuesday with, wait a minute. Who else on Tuesday? Let's do this. Oh, horror actress Amy Cote. Tuesday,
Oh, very cool.
the 1st. And next Wednesday, Alba Music. Great stuff. Ooh, Alba Music. Let's play some music. Fine, let's do a share screen. Let's click. Any better technology, basically what I need. I do. My technology sucks. I'm like, it's like the show's being worked by like a 6-year-old. Or a man with 6-year-old genitalia. Have a great night, everybody. You were awesome. Music's still
Oh
going.
my
I don't
God.
care. I want everybody to hear it because you're freaking awesome.
Thank you. I had a wonderful time. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining.
Of
Let's get some
course.
St. Ricketts in our lives. Why is the volumes down? Jesus Christ.
Introduce yourself. Can't do it on fire. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this desire. Do you hear the call? Coiling the wire. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this desire. I have found the catalyst, and I have found the catalyst in you. You understand yourself. This is not a test. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this request. Do you wait for love? But you're acquiesce. You have all the reason to begin again. Honor this request. I have found the catalyst, and I have found the catalyst in you. Chemical reaction incinerates the gravity. I found the catalyst in you. Yes, there will be days when the sky is gray, but I will catalyst in you. Chemical reaction incinerates the gravity. I found the catalyst in you. Introduce yourself.